So when it starts, I will be there. This is one of the only times I can remember in the last couple of, 6 or 7 months, I suppose, that it's, I've gone live and it's 0 people. And it's not new, obviously, but it's something I haven't experienced in a while, and I'm very grateful for it. Okay, let's see. I need to go over there. And just need to check that I'm actually live. It says I'm live, but you know how YouTube is. Okay, good. There I am. Perfect. So I'm live. It's the Nazarite bringing you Hebrew lore from days of yore. Now, hey, you know what? It could very well be that because it's a holiday, maybe we'll get, a crowd. Who knows? So, okay. I'll continue the chat from I was on Monday. Hello, 2 people who are here. Nice to see you. So wait, who's here? What's up? Happy holidays. And so on Monday we finished with Still Me. That's the one message I missed back then. Still Me said, your talks are cool. Need more humans like you. Thank you, Still Me. Most appreciated. And we were talking about writing a book. And it's interesting. I was looking a couple of things up on Google, right? Before on Google Images. There is a book called Jewish Nazarite, but it's not a book of halacha, and it's a book of prose, right? It's a book of fiction about a Christian monk who figured out that he's a Jew, and so it's called Nazir Yehudi. But I've had, mentioned that monks and Nazarites are not. There are some similarities, but I wouldn't really call it the same thing. Okay, now the sweater. The sweater is Elf, which I haven't seen, but I've heard that it's a good film. So I'm gonna have to see it at some point. I wore this once last year on this day, and I wore it now to the office, and I wore it now. And I usually don't stick around with my office shirt or sweater after I come back. But I did because, hey, you know what? People celebrate Christmas. I don't, but people do. Okay, so that's blasphemous. What kind of blasphemous are you talking about? Hey, go dogs, shalom to you. What blasphemous are you talking about? It's just a sweater. There's no tree, there's no lights. Okay, although, nowadays when it's the solstice, wait, did it occur? Did it not occur? Hey, Random, how you doing? Tell me something random, Mr. Random. All right, so today I'm with a cup of tea, just regular black tea, same as I had last time, which I haven't had in such a long time, just plain black tea. Wait, what's blasphemous, M. Dot? The Jews killed Christ, now Christmas. Oh, come on now. People who follow Jesus can do whatever they want. I was given this shirt as a gift, the sweater as a gift, and so I figured I'd wear it one time a year. Something random. Come on, Random, put some effort into it. This guy. All right, as for the Jews killing Christ, yes, that has been said, but you know what? The Sanhedrin did not find him guilty. And even though the mob sent him to his death, so to speak, right? And gave him, instead of the thief, what was his name? I don't recall. But to say the Jews killed Christ, I don't see it. Even if you do say that they were anti-Jesus, and the Sanhedrin was anti-Jesus, right? The Prushim, Chazar, the Pharisees, whatever you want to call them. To say that they killed him, I don't think so, because if they were going to do that, Sanhedrin would have ruled to kill him, and they didn't. They didn't rule on anything, actually. Random, are you Che Guevara? I'm assuming you mean Che Guevara? No, I'm not a socialist, or was he a communist? I don't remember right now. Go dogs, where is the Ark of the Covenant believed to be? So there are different views on where it is, right? People who are amateur archaeologists, people who are academics, and a tradition that, not really a tradition. Okay, so some say that Hizkiah, the king, buried it under Jerusalem. Some say that Hizkiah right? King of Judah, buried it under Jerusalem. Some say that it actually was taken. Some say it is in India. Some say it is in Egypt, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Some say that it is in Ethiopia, maybe one other place in Africa. But where is it believed to be? Depends who you ask. It depends who you ask. I'm joking. I see. Well, I get that you're joking, man, but put some effort into it. Actually, the Romans killed Jesus. That's what I'm saying. Eventually, it was the Romans. What have the Romans ever done for us? That was random. Hey, Brandon Lowry, good to see you, man. Ariel is back in the house. Evening, lads. Why are you not Muslim? I am not Muslim primarily for two reasons. A, it's simply not how I grew up. And B, being that I'm in Jerusalem, in Israel, the view of Islam that I have, not my personal view, literally what I see, right? The view that is Islam around me, while it has some merit, a lot of it is just warped and broken and turned into crap by war, bloodshed, terrorism, jihad. So why am I not a Muslim? It could be at some point I will be a Muslim. Who knows what the future holds? I don't plan on it, because I think that if you're a Muslim, you believe that the Old and New Testament are correct. And if you believe the New Testament, then you believe the Old Testament is correct. And if you believe the Old Testament, you know that you don't need any other testaments after that testament, because the covenant persists and exists in the Hebrew tribes, in the people of Israel. So, not throwing any shade on any other faith, religion, way of life, doctrine, whatever, but for a person who holds to the 5 books of Moses and to Torah, it's really what happened with the Maccabees, right? With the sons of Hashmonai on Hanukkah. Tonight we lit the candle. When they said, no, we are not going and doing something else. We are holding to the traditions of our fathers and our mothers. That's why I'm not Muslim, but I'm not ruling anything out, so who knows? Bleepers off-grid projects. Wait, projects or projects? Right? Where's the inflection there? Bleepers off-grid. I recently spoke of the documentary What the Bleep Do We Know? Not like a talk, I just mentioned it briefly. M. Dot says they couldn't rule because they were too busy mumbling Yiddish. Well, I don't think they were mumbling Yiddish, but no, they couldn't rule, assuming that you were talking about, assuming that you're talking about the Jews at the times of the Romans. I don't know if they were busy mumbling Yiddish. I think that came later. However, you can very well say that there were some mumblings and perhaps not enough action. I'm not judging. Had I been there, I don't know what I would have done. But I think that the fractioning and the breaking up of the people and all the different sects and the groups and just games of honor, prestige, and ego and different things caused the house of Hashmonai to fall, and then the Romans destroyed the temple, right, almost 2,000 years ago. Bailey Woodworks. So, do you work with wood? What is your favorite thing to make? I love people who work with their hands. My dad took 25 plus tours through Israel. I have been once, he says. It is a beautiful place with so much history and definitely God's people. Well, you know, that whole God's people thing, what I like to say is, okay, if you're going to claim it, back it up, earn it, merit it. Don't just say it as an excuse. Don't see it as a way to shirk responsibilities or be immoral because it's convenient, or I don't know what to tell you. God's people in the sense of we're better, holier than thou, that way. I don't mean in the way of faith, commandments, and Torah. That's a different story. Yes, a lot of history. God's people, right? It's something we need to earn. It's something we need to actually attain every day. Hey, Robert Harrison. Hello. Happy holidays to you. Random says, if you be Muslim, you know all about Isa. Right? Isa, Yeshua, Jesus. Yes, I understand that if you're Muslim, you know about the New Testament and you agree that Isa is Habib Allah, right? The beloved of God. However, like I said, the other 2 testaments, you can call them testaments and new covenants, final word of God, this word of God, that word of God. For the Hebrews, there is the Torah, right? Written Torah, oral Torah. You can make the argument, it's this, it's that. It's been changed here, it's been changed there, all censored. But we stick to Torah. Isa is the son of Maryam. Yes, that is what it says. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. So Hanukkah means dedication, but in fact it was a rededication. Earlier today, just this evening before I went live, I was reading through the first half or so of the Book of Maccabees. The Book of Maccabees, also known as the Book of Hashmonai, is one book that has 4 parts, but the first 2 parts were probably written by the same author at a certain time when these things were going down. And the third and fourth part, Gimel and Dalet, were written later, all of them by unknown authors, or at least there's no one to really corroborate it and say, yes, this is who did it. And in the book of wait, hold on. In the book of Maccabees, they say, nope, we're going to stick with our covenant, with what we received from our fathers. New sub, love this. Thanks, Bailey Woodworks. Okay. I make spinning tops mostly. I have made dreidels. Can you talk about what a dreidel is and how it is used? So first of all, spinning tops, right? Small ones, large ones, what kind of wood do you use? Is there a specific tree or treatment of a tree that makes it more conducive to spinning? I mean, that's already the physics, not necessarily the wood, but is there a favorite wood that you work with? Do you have a favorite wood regardless of the spinning tops? I'm stuffed, said Robert Harrison. Good for you. You had a nice holiday meal? Right on. How blessed are we? How blessed are we? How was your day, HN? My day is going really well. I had a great day and lit candles at the end with my family. What more can a dude ask for? Really, really, what more can a dude ask for? Bailey says, dreidels. Can you talk about what a dreidel is and how it is used? So a dreidel is a 4-sided spinning top. In the land of Israel, it has the letters Nun Gimel Hey Pei, Nes Gadol Haya Po, a great miracle occurred here. In dreidels, right, that spin, in the foreign parts, in foreign lands, in the diaspora, it's Nes Gadol Haya Sham, Nun Gimel Hey Shin, a great miracle occurred there. And it's a game. It's basically a gambling game where each of the 4 letters, Nun Gimel Hey Pei or Nun Gimel Hey Shin, each one is attributed, right? You put in money and you spin the dreidel. If it lands, I forget the precise order, but if it lands on one letter, right, and you call it, basically, you basically gamble on what it's going to be, and you either lose all your money, get double your money, split it back the way it was, right, gain everyone's money, lose your money, gain your money back. What's the 4th one? Right, it's everything, nothing, the same. What's the 4th one? Does anyone know out there? What is the 4th action, right, associated with the dreidel? Okay, I don't remember. So yeah, it's that's how it is used. Lovely sweater, says Robert Harrison. Yes, I explained in the beginning, when I just went on, nobody was here, but that it's from Elf, and I haven't seen the movie, but I heard it's very good. Ariel, oh, I'm sorry. Go Dog says, Exodus 17:15, Moses built an altar and called it the name Yod-Heh Yah is my miracle. Right, Adonai Nisi, that is correct. Right, Moses built altars, and Yitzchak and Yaakov built altars, and Abraham built altars. Many people built altars. The thing is that ever since the temple was erected, we no longer are able to build altars in other places. And even though it has been done, it's not something that's very kosher in the eyes of the Torah. The only time where it was permissible, at least according to the Bible, right, it's permissible if a prophet says so, which is why Eliyahu could make a sacrifice on Mount Carmel and repair that specific altar with the prophets of the Baal across the way from him. You ever met a Mexican rabbi? Yes, I have. There was a Mexican rabbi. I don't think he's the rabbi there anymore. That was in the synagogue that I spent my teens in. Because in childhood, I was in one part of Jerusalem, and my teens, I was in another part of Jerusalem, and that, when I was in my teens, I was still going to shul pretty much every day, whether it was in school or whether it was the neighborhood shul on Shabbos. And the Mexican rabbi, I don't remember his name, but I know he's on YouTube as part of some sort of association, or at any rate, yes, I have met. I wasn't on first name basis with him. I didn't know the guy personally. I know that he liked to sing. And he had an opera kind of twinge to him, an opera side to him. Some people in the congregation enjoyed it, and some people said, we're like, okay, just, come on, we want to go home, man. They didn't phrase it like that. It was just the vibe. Would enjoy listening to one. So if you would enjoy listening to one, I can hook you up with a Mexican rabbi. There must be plenty. Yes, I'm sure there are plenty. Hardwood is better, but pine is good for live streams. Pine is good for live streams, meaning you stream the process of making a spinning top. Sevivon, sov, dreidel, spin, 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 says Ariel. Say that in Mexican Spanish. I do not know, but if you want, someone Google it, Google Translate it, and let me know. Go Dogs says, we there be a national altar during the time of the Third Temple. So here's the deal with my idea of the Third Temple. First, it's not a must. It's a means to an end. And if we can achieve that end in different ways and bring about that unity of the masculine and feminine divine presence here in this world through our actions, through our unity, through our togetherness, if we can achieve those same connections and goals, facilitate that same divine influence to come into the world, right? Then we don't need the temple. We don't need the, right? Not the stone or the precious metals and not the blood that's spilled, the wine, the oil. We don't need it. It's something that came down to the world for a purpose, right? And that purpose is a great purpose. But we don't necessarily need it. Now, I'm also very much in favor of a vegan third temple if one should be erected. So, will there be an altar? I believe so, but it will only be for plant-based offerings, right? Menachot, right? The oil, the wine, the grains, and not animal sacrifices. That's what I believe. And I would love to see that happen. I think that a vegan temple would send a very strong message. And I think that it would be closer to the Edenic side of things where we were all vegans for a time in Eden. Okay, let's see. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes. Joy to the fishes? You know what? One thing I wanted to do when I was in the Netherlands, and I've mentioned this, I wanted to go see Handel's Messiah performed live. And I was about to do so. I didn't have a ticket, but I was going to, and then Corona hit. And and things were canceled. And I would still like to do that sometime. I really, really would. Yes, live streams, MWF at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only because you asked. I would never advertise without consent. I love learning and you are so knowledgeable. No, I'm hardly knowledgeable, man. It's, I know what I like, but I don't consider myself knowledgeable. There's more that I don't know than what I do know on a great many things. So tell me, good people, are you celebrating Hanukkah? Are you celebrating Christmas? Are you celebrating neither? And it's just another Wednesday. How are you doing? How was your day? Where are you from? Give me some deets. In the meantime, I will find a comment or two that I wanted. MWF? What am I not understanding about is it an acronym? What am I not getting there? Okay, let's see. Hang on. I queued it up before and now it's gone. That's not so good, man. I had it queued up before. Oh, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sorry. We are in Christmas in Ohio. All right, very cool. Wait, hang on a second. Go Dog says, question, why do people say that they put the vowels of Adonai into Yod Hei Vav Hei because they are not the same vowels? What do you mean they put in the vowels because they are not the same vowels? I'm really not sure what you mean. Are you talking about the nikud, right? Are you talking about the punctuation of the letters? Are you talking about the fact that there's a yod and a hey and another hey? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't know that people say that they put the vowels into it because they're not the same vowels. I don't quite understand. Yod He Vav He is a name that is, well, it holds many secrets, obviously. And there's a revealed element to it and a hidden element to it. So I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Okay, so yes. Now, right. So the chat from last Wednesday, I didn't finish it, and I had it queued up here, like I said, and then just Goes away, it goes away, it disappears, it goes away. Okay. Let's see. Right, we were talking about Memphite Torah. And Ariel said, who and what's that? And I don't think we received an answer, right? Because I guess I had to go. I guess that was at the end. Okay, let's see. That was the end. Oh, so you know what? Did I reach the end of that? I think I did. Okay, cool. You know what? I think that I pretty much, other than spam and stuff, probably read the comments. I'm curious. Maybe I missed something. I am not sure. We shall see. I will check. Okay, let's see. So go dogs, explain it to me. What do you mean? I'm curious. You have piqued my curiosity. What is it that you mean? And why won't this go? Okay, here we go. Okay, good. So this is, okay, Robert Harrison asked, does your family love Shabbat as much as you, Achi, my brother? Look, first, it's a very personal thing, and no, I gotta say no, they don't love it in the same way. It's not a question of more or less, it's simply a different sort of thing. I suppose we love it for the same things, and we love it for different things, because we do different things. Some things we do the same, right? We love the family dinners, and I'm allowing myself to say we, but not everybody in the family loves the fact that there are no screens and no phones, for instance. So I see that as a great little dopamine fast once a week. It's an amazing thing to me. And I love it. So that's something that, so do people, does the family love Shabbat as much as I? As much? Yes. Perhaps not for the same reasons, but as much, I'm inclined to say yes. Reagan said, I actually watched your old vid on locks today. Right, so I had way back when, about 6 years ago, I had a series of videos that I did on natural dreadlocks. It's on the channel, in the archive. Robert Harrison asked, what do you love about your locks? I mean, I love it that it's simply a natural progression. I love it that it's simply uninterrupted growth. And that even though it really is all dead, it actually is still very much alive. And obviously what I love about them is that they remind me of my Nazarite vow constantly, and that I'm under this vow. But you could be a Nazarite even if you're bald. So, I mean, Rastafarians will have things to say about the bald head, right? Damn bald head, we gonna chase those crazy bald heads out of town. But you can be bald and still be a Nazarite. You're simply not supposed to cut and shave off your hair. So what I love about it is that it's a constant reminder of the Nazariteship, and that it's organically a part of me. That's what I love about it. That's pretty much it. I mean, and that's the reason why they are growing the way that they're growing, until, if ever God decides, okay, that's enough hair, you can stop growing. That's not up to me. Okay, and then there was a Shabbat Shalom, and that was it. All right, cool. Robert Harrison says, your favorite classic rock song. Again, it's a question of moods. I don't have one that is the one. But, I mean, when you're talking about that, what popped into my mind was Eric Clapton. Like, late 60s, early 70s, Derek and the Dominoes, Eric Clapton. You know what I mean? I don't know if I have a favorite. Oh, okay, Go Dogs says, as far as I know, it means Hayahu ve'yihiyeh. Can you explain some of the secrets? Well, let's put it this way. Yod Hei Vav Hei signifies the divine revelation as such, from beginning through middle through end. Or in other words, from the top of the head to the bottoms of the feet, if we're likening it to the image of God in the form of a human. And right, with Yod, being the mind and the brain, the tip of the yod being the place outside of the physical that's still part of you. The first hay represents the yod and the hay represent the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. They represent what's called the mother and the father, the higher self. Right? It's physically higher, and it has the capacity to take us very high, right? Our intellect and our imagination, our thoughts. And it's revealed through our actions and our being, but it's really hidden because we are the only ones who are experiencing them in their pure form. The vav represents the connector, and that's also why it looks like that, like a hook. That's also what vav literally means. It means hook. And it's something which connects, it's the torso and the belly button, connecting the higher and lower forms of the human. And it's here in the torso where there's discernment of a great deal. And it's the gut and the stomach that are breaking apart food, putting the waste one way and nourishing the body in another way, and fighting diseases, creating the bile, but disposing of it. It's a great many secrets in the stomach as well, and the different intestines. The final hay represents what's called, right? The final hay represents this world, right? So it's the mother and the father, yod hay. It's vav, which is masculine, and hay, the second hay, which is feminine, also known as the yod hay, higher masculine feminine revelation, and vav hay, lower masculine feminine revelation. And the haya hoveh v'yihiyeh means that it encompasses all of that. And unlike the name Ehyeh, which was revealed to Moses just that time in the revelation at the burning bush, and that is not what he later told the children of Israel. He told them Yod Hei Vav Hei Adonai. Adonai is seen one way, written one way, and spoken another way, and spelled yet another way. With the punctuation, I mean. The fact that it's four, right? 4 letters corresponding to the 4 elements, corresponding to the four letters of Ehyeh and of Adonai, Aleph Daled Nun Yod. Yod Hei Vav Hei is a name which encompasses everything. And it's twofold, right? It's revealed because you can speak it, but the way you speak it is not the way you write it. And the way you write it, right, is not, it's not written the way that it's spoken, and it's not written in the way that there is a different way to write it, right, which is the proper Aleph Daled Nun Yod, Adonai. It's not pronounced the way it's written, and it's not read the way it's written. That's what I was looking for. Well, that's it that's it like in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. The name Yod Hei Vav Hei is seen one way and spoken another, hidden and revealed. In saying that, when you're thinking Yod Hei Vav Hei and saying Adonai, those two things in and of themselves represent the union of masculine and feminine, with Yod Hei Vav Hei being masculine and the name Adonai being feminine, and bringing them together is thinking one and saying another. Okay. So did Jesus have long hair, like never cut? People say that Jesus was a Nazarite. I read the New Testament once, and I haven't seen any evidence to the fact that he was a Nazarite. If he was a Nazarite, then it was only he may have taken on the Nazariteship on the night of the Feast of Passover, but I didn't see any evidence that he was a Nazarite in the text. People confuse Nazarene of Nazareth with Nazarite, Nazir, right? A Jewish Nazir, a Hebrew Nazarite. And that it's the confusion stems from that. Although, like I said, some people do claim, no, he was a Nazarite, a proper Nazarite from Nazarene, incidentally, but he was a Nazarene and a Nazarite, and I have no idea if Jesus had long hair. Makes sense that he did, I suppose. It was the style at the time. Which part of Psalms no halal? No halal? I don't understand the question, Robert Harrison. Could you please refine it and rephrase it and explain it and dumb it down for me? Interesting, says Go Dogs. Yes, that's right. Now here's the thing. Most people will not say Yod Hei Vav Hei. because it's such a sacred thing. They want to put it apart, they want to set it apart, which I do. And they say Yod Kei Vav Kei many times. Instead of saying Adonai, they say Hashem, literally the name. But I grew up like that, and I decided many years ago that I wanted to set aside the name and use it properly. Meaning, if I'm in an unclean area or, well, let's say ritual uncleanliness and things of that nature, maybe I won't utter the name. Like physical uncleanliness, ritual uncleanliness, whatever the case may be, certain names I won't utter. But I'm definitely of the opinion that you shouldn't be afraid to say the name, a name, providing that you are, right, providing that you know what you mean when you say it and you're not just uttering it without any purpose or meaning. Many people say the name. They don't even write Yod Hey Vav Hey or Adonai. They write Hey and they put a oh my God. I can't believe I forgot that punctuation. I mean, it's a gerish, but I forgot what it's called in English. Not a quotation, right? A single quotation mark. That's what it would be. Guessing nobody, says Ariel, ever referred to Golda Meir's hair or food as Goldilocks? Ha! I like that. Hair or food? I like that. Was Samson a Nazarite? Yes, Samson was a unique sort of Nazarite. The vow that I took is the vow of a Samson Nazarite. It differs a little bit from the vow of the book of Numbers, chapter 6, the Torah portion Naso, where the Nazarite verses appear in Torah. Absalom was, yes, once again, it's said that he was. It's also said that Samuel, the prophet, the Levite, the leader, was. But the only one who was named a Nazarite is Samson, right? Named as such, with the word Nazir. But yes, he was according to the sources. It appears in the Mishnah, right? Shmuel, right? Samuel and Avshalom. So yes, the Samson Nazariteship differs a little bit, and I've taken a great liking to the Samson Nazariteship, but any one of the Nazarite vows is proper Nazariteship. You just go about it in different ways. Elijah, right? Baal Se'ar, it says. So again, yes, they say that he was a Nazarite as well. I should say. He departed but did not die. He received a different task. Different clothing. Hang on a second, let's see. Okay, so that's done. We already spoke about that. You know, it's been just over a half hour. I might call it a day because you know what? Unless anyone has anything else to say, I'm not going to just sit here and blah, blah, blee. I mean, you know, it's a Q&A. Ask whatever you want or fill me up with tidbits and contemplations of your own. What have you been reading lately? Fiction, non-fiction, or otherwise? Sacred or non-sacred texts? Have you been reading anything interesting? Have you been watching anything interesting? Do tell. And if not, you know, we can just wrap it up. And there's no problem wrapping it up. I love coming here. I love doing this. It's the first night of Hanukkah, and I feel so blessed. And again, reading the book of Maccabees before. The book of Maccabees is very long, and only the first 4 or 5 chapters deal with the actual decrees of Antiochus Epiphanes IV, the king at the time, and the rebellion, and the purifying and rededication of the temple. That's only the first 4 or 5 chapters. And I say this every time I mention the book of Maccabees. The pep talks and the speeches that Yehuda and his brothers, right, give before battle are so inspiring. The things that their father Matityahu told them when he was still alive and before he died, they're so inspiring. Now, certain things that the Greeks brought into existence and into the world are indeed positive. But I draw the line when it's forsake your covenant and sacrifice this pig on a pagan altar in your holy, your temple. It's like, Still in the book of Ezekiel, says Robert Harrison. Good for you. Watching A Christmas Story and Home Alone, says Robert. So I haven't watched A Christmas Story ever. I saw Home Alone in the cinema when it came out, if I'm not mistaken. And I think I saw the second one on VHS. Why did the bicycle fall over? Asks Ariel Marshall. It was too tired. Robert says to Go Dogs, nice, love the story of Joseph. Did I miss something? What about the story of Joseph? The story of Joseph, you mean, which Joseph are we talking about? Because the story of Joseph is happening now in the weekly Torah portions with me kids. Bailey says, is there talk of the Messiah coming first or second coming because of how weird and twisted people are right now in Israel now, I meant? Well, the potential for Messiah exists any given moment, every second of every single day. The potential exists. The potential Messiahs out there exist. And we need to crown them, and we need to embrace them, and that for that to happen, they need to rally the people and unite us. Which is so crazy. Yes, I agree. In Israel right now, things are weird and twisted because the modern day state of Israel it's a problem. It hasn't seen much peace in its life, I'll tell you that. There was hope, and it's seen some peace agreements, but the land is not quiet. Oy, 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 oy. So much war, so much bloodshed, so much of it just because of organized religion and holier than thou ideology. Ugh. And people make mistakes on both sides all the time. Religious extremists and non-extremists. Religious and non-religious alike is what I mean to say. We all make mistakes all the time. Oy. Now, there's always talk of Messiah. And Rav Kook famously said that when there is war in the world, the bells of Messiah are awaken. Meaning, it's something along the lines of when you're on a roller coaster and the physics say that you need to go down in a certain angle and at a certain degree and a certain incline, right, in order to later make the loop of joy. And if you're not at precisely the right angle and gathering the amount of speed that you ought to and that you need to, you will not make that loop. In the very same way, but differently, in this physical world of ours, history teaches us that you can set some store by the fact or idea that the physical house is built before the spirit can dwell in it. And the physical house of Israel is born out of all of this war, all of the horrors of the Second World War and of all the persecution before that, ever since we were exiled by Rome. The first coming, second coming, however you want to see it. Things are weird and twisted now, but it seems that there's no end to this drop, this sharp incline. All right, things are going down. Everything is what you say, weird and twisted. But out of that, I believe, it's a work in progress, and we will make that loop-de-loop exactly because of how low we are sinking right now. Yeridat tzorich aliyah, they say. You go down in order to go up, and you won't be able to make that loop-de-loop if you don't go if you don't hit that angle, if you don't hit that speed. You think, oh my God, how awful are things happening, and with what speed are they happening? But it's all part of, right, it's a work in progress. So don't judge it while it's still ongoing. In the same way that you wouldn't judge a pie for not being a pie 5 minutes after you put it in the oven. You get mad at the pie, you get mad at the oven. It's like, no, it's happening. Give it time. Have patience. So the potential for Messiah is always there. Potential Messiahs are always here. And there's always talk of the Messiah. It happened whenever the people of Israel were going through tough times, and it happens a lot. It's always, when Messiah arrives, Messiah must be arriving, which is also why I say in the very same vein, right, in the very same way that I say the temple is a blessed and sacred and welcome thing, but not necessary, in the very same way the kingship and a Messiah, an anointed one, a king of Israel, will be a great thing, but it's not necessary. We can rally together as a people. We can make it without a king. We could, as Samuel said, you don't need a king. Adonai is your king. Go with him. We can do that. We don't need a physical king. We don't need the kingdom, even unified. We need the people, the tribes together. right? The kingdom of Judah, the kingdom of Israel, the 10 lost tribes, whatever it may be, bring us together. There's so much, we have a lot of work to do, right? Someone said God's people before. Yeah, we need to merit that, like I said. And it's a lot of work, and there's so much trouble in the world, all over the world, and here as well. So there's always talk of Messiah. Ariel says, saw some crazy stuff in Teski in the sky this last 2 nights. What have you seen? I'm curious. My bad, that's in Genesis. Yes. First Christmas was in Israel. So it said, not far from here. Right next to me, there is a road called Bethlehem Road, Derech Bethlehem. It eventually leads to Bethlehem. Bailey says, the Go Dogs says, true, there's no need for war. On that note, Go Dogs, a quick prayer. May Adonai, even right now at this very moment, take away war and bloodshed and needless conquest and horrors, of that nature from the world. May we be able to come together as a people of Israel and as a unified human race eventually. And no war and no peace. Right? The prophet, what did he say? Right? They will make their spears into shovels and their swords into shears. And they will know no more war. Right? We will know peace. Yah willing. Bailey says, it will never be true peace though, right? Yes, organized and militarized religion is a danger. Yep, it's a danger. It holds some great promise, but it's also a great danger. And it can be corrupted so very easily. When things are done in the name of God, it can be horrible. It can be really horrible. It will never be true peace. It will be true peace eventually. Eventually, it will be true peace. I am a believer of peace and love. I'm not looking through rose-tinted glasses at the world, but I am a believer of peace and love. But I believe that it can come primarily through duty and discipline and responsibility, and to earn that love, to earn that peace through trials, tribulations, and all that jazz. And nevertheless, I say to you, we can even avoid nearly all of that. Each, with his or her own self, can decide, I'm going to make a difference by acting properly. Doesn't mean you'll hit it 100%, obviously, you're human, but just that individual decision already does a world of good for yourself and everyone around you, man. And each day of Hanukkah, we add another candle. Incidentally, the house of Shammai say, no, you start with 8 and you go back to 1 on the 8th day. And more incidentally still, it's said that in the future, halacha will be ruled not by the house of Hillel, which says 1 to 8, but house of Shammai, which says 8 to 1. House of Hillel represents a certain divine revelation, and house of Shammai represents the counterforce of that revelation. And eventually there will be, it won't be let's put it this way. It will be a time and a place that I can't envision, really, where we will merit that higher path. Okay. Robert says, I see Israel gained more of Menashe's land back, Golan Heights. Yeah, you know what? As soon as that happened in Syria, they went to work and they did that. And I have no idea what precisely stands behind it, other than the fact that they wanted to make a buffer zone, that will be a proper buffer zone. They don't want terrorists and others coming through, of course, nor invading armies. So I get that. I'm surprised that it was done so quickly, and that, the regime fell. Obviously it was done quickly and efficiently by the Israeli army. Go Dog says, as they should, Israel belongs to the Jewish people. Well, I disagree on that. Israel belongs to God, right? The creation, it's a land, it's a creation, and it belongs to the Creator. We, however, for now, have been given it, right, to safekeep it and to guard it, much like Adam was given Eden, right? Le'ovda u'leshomra, to keep it and to work, to toil in it, to work with it and to work in it and to keep it. To safeguard it, right? We are custodians of Eden, and we are custodians of Israel. And if we don't merit it, then we will be kicked out. And if we don't get our act together and hold to the covenant, Torah and commandments, we will be kicked out. Again. Yes, says Bailey, with God all things are possible. That's right. As the Tam, right, the simple man says in Rabbi Nachman's Tales, he says, "Etzel Hashem yitbarach hakol efshari." Right, with God who is blessed, right, blessed be He, everything is possible. Have you been to Bethlehem? I don't think I have. Definitely on the border, right? Because now it's what is it now? It's A, right? A, B, C, right? The different zones. I think it's Zone A, so I'm not allowed to go there now. But I think I was definitely on the border there. I lived close to there during my in my youth. Ariel says, tonight and yesterday there is what looks like a star, but much brighter than stars are normally, and its brightness increases and decreases gradually. It is probably there right now in the sky. Well, if you say that it's flickering, then yes, indeed, it is a star. Otherwise, if it would be a constant light, then that would be a planet, because it's reflecting the light of the sun. If it twinkles, it means it's a star, right? It's a sun. So if you're saying that it increases and decreases, if it's a planet, then it's just sort of interference in the sky that causes it to twinkle. If it's a proper star, then, right, it's because of the way light travels. And it's much brighter. Now, is there a patch of sky much brighter than stars are normally? It could just very well be that that patch of sky happens to be very bright. Or it could be that that star is in the process so many, millions of years ago, or whatever, billions, millions, of becoming a red giant, right? Of going nova or supernova. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's a star that is ending its life with a bang and a whimper. Robert says, was Mount Hermon a part of Israel in the Tanakh? Well, it's mentioned in the Torah. It's mentioned in the Song of Songs, right? Shir Shirim, Solomon. Was it a part? It wasn't a part I don't think it was a part of it in the Promised Land, in the 5 books of, in Genesis. It likely was, but I don't recall. Right? It goes by the name of Snir. It goes by the name of Hermon. It goes by one other name. What is it? I don't recall. Ariel says it even goes out completely at times, and the clouds are very few and distinct to see in the bright sky. Well, okay, so the clouds are few, so I guess that's not interference here on our planet. Goes out completely makes no sense. Could it be that it's something that's orbiting and turning, a satellite? Could it be? I mean, I don't know what it could be. It's not acting like a star or a planet. I saw that yesterday. It was there about 2 hours ago, but its brightness was not changing. Voila. Robert says NASA touched the sun. What do you mean by NASA touched the sun? There were missions to the sun. Ariel says, photographing the sun, I mean. Ariel says, not flickering. Light takes a minute or so to change its brightness. It wasn't flickering. It was like a dimmer switch. Western Jordan is Reuven and Gad and half of Menashe. From full brightness to lights out, says Ariel Marshall. Wow, I'm intrigued. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not doubting that's what you saw. I'm saying it doesn't make sense that it's a star. It probably, or a planet. It's probably something else. That was a very good cup of tea. I like that. On that note, and since the chat is finished, I think I will say goodbye. Indeed, I will say goodbye. God willing it. I will see you Friday, hopefully, or a short, or, another get ready with me, or I don't know what. I wish all of you happy holidays. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate it. Happy Hanukkah. And just as the Maccabees rededicated the temple on this day and celebrated the feast of Sukkot, that they didn't do it, a couple of months ago, may we, each and every day, and certainly today, rededicate ourselves to doing good, to being a source of blessings to others and being blessed ourselves, and to merit it, to work towards it, to act and speak and think and do in such a way that will facilitate that growth and development in the most positive and wonderful sense, where you right there across the interwebs feel that you are truly, truly bringing your potential to bear on life. You know what I mean? Not like a light switch, more like a dimmer. Good night and happy holidays from Jerusalem. God bless.